He sat across from me, eyes, lowered voice shaking, and said something I'll never forget. "Doc, I feel like I'm losing the part of me that made me a man." He wasn't talking about pride. He was talking about something deeper, the fire, the function, that confidence. No more morning stiffness, no more desire, no more spark. He thought it was gone forever, but it wasn't. It was just silent, waiting for the right fuel, because when we gave his body what it needed, it didn't just respond, it roared back to life. And the change began with something as small as what he put on his plate. If you're over 60 and you've ever wondered if this is just what happens with age, stay with me, because this one shift could bring it all back. If you're still in the fight, if any part of this message feels familiar, if you felt your energy fade or your confidence slip, this video was made for you. So hit like, not for me, but for you, to remind yourself that you're still in the fight. Tap subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next, because this isn't about chasing youth. It's about reclaiming the power that's still in you, why erections fade after 60, and what's really to blame. Let's start with something no one ever told you. Erections aren't about testosterone alone. They're about blood flow, and after 60, that's usually where things fall apart, because no matter how strong your desire, if blood can't move freely, nothing happens. Not fully, not consistently, not at all. When men come into my clinic worried about softness, inconsistency, or total loss of function, I don't start with hormones. I start with circulation. Because here's the truth. Your penis is like a pressure system. It fills with blood. It holds that pressure, and that's what creates a firm erection. But if your blood vessels are narrowed, if they're clogged, if the inner walls have stiffened over time, that pressure leaks and the firmness fades. What causes that damage? Years of silent attacks. From processed food, too much sugar, too little movement, too much stress, too many skip meals, too many years spent surviving instead of thriving, and all that slowly steals your blood flow. Long before it shows up in the bedroom, I had a patient, 67. Retired electrician, sighed he hadn't felt solid in years. Thought it was just aging. Thought it was normal. But when we checked his arteries, he was barely pushing enough flow to power a spark. Let alone an erection. We didn't start with pills. We started with food, circulation-focused changes, anti-inflammatory meals, natural vasodilators. A month, he said, "Doc, I'm not 20, but I'm back. I feel present again." My wife noticed too that. That's why I tell every man this: the first step to rebuilding performance is restoring blood flow before hormones, before supplements. You've got to open the highways, because without healthy circulation, nothing else matters. And the best part, you can do it naturally, with food, not meds. Our body hasn't given up. It's just been waiting for you to clear the path. And here's the part no one tells you. You don't need perfect genetics. You don't need to be young. You just need blood that moves vessels, that open, and fuel that supports them. Because the moment your circulation returns, so does your power, your presence, your performance. And it starts with what you eat. The food that restores hormones. Grass-fed beef. Let me ask you something. When did we start telling men that the foods that built them were suddenly bad for them? For years. I've watched good men over 60 avoid one of the most powerful foods for their hormones. Grass-fed beef. Not greasy burgers. Not processed lunch meat. I'm talking about clean, naturally raised beef. The kind packed with real nutrients your body still understands. Because what happens when you cut it out? You lose zinc. You lose iron. You lose complete proteins, and your testosterone goes down with it. Zinc is the spark plug. It tells your body to produce testosterone. Without it, you feel flat, disconnected, low energy, low performance. Iron moves oxygen through your blood, and blood, as we said before, is everything. If it's not flowing, you're not rising. Simple as that. Now, I'm not saying eat red meat every day, but I've seen dramatic changes in men who just reintroduce it 2 or 3 times a week. Like one patient, 72, said he hadn't had a solid morning in years, was living off toast and coffee. Thought he was doing his heart a favor. We added in grass-fed beef twice a week with a slice of raw cheese for vitamin K2, a mineral that helps keep your arteries soft and flexible. Within 3 weeks, he walked in different voice, stronger, eye sharper. He said, "Doc, I feel like someone flipped a switch inside me," and they did. His body finally got the tools it needed: zinc, iron, protein, real fuel for rebuilding hormones. This isn't guesswork. It's biology. Grass-fed beef is dense, nutrient-rich, easy for older bodies to absorb, and when you pair it with simple movement and circulation-boosting greens, it becomes a foundation for strength, not weakness. Don't let fear steal your fire. If you've been avoiding red meat because someone told you to take another look, because the real danger is starving your system of what it needs. This is about bringing life back, power back, hormones back. And for many men, it all begins with what's on the plate. Most men think strength fades because of age, but what really fades is nourishment, real fuel, real nutrients, the kind your body once thrived on. Bring that back. And you don't just see changes in the mirror. You feel them in your walk, in your mind, and especially in your mornings. Arugula, the leaf that opens blood vessels. Most men walk right past it. Light green, a little peppery, barely noticeable in the produce aisle. But this one leaf might be the most powerful blood flow booster you've never heard of. It's called Arugula, and what it does inside your body, especially after 60, is nothing short of incredible, because Arugula is packed with natural nitrates, the kind your body turns into nitric oxide, a molecule that tells your blood vessels to open, to relax, to flow, and the more nitric oxide you produce, the more blood flows to the places that matter, including down there. See, blood flow is like electricity. It needs open wires, smooth passage, and when your arteries are stiff or clogged, you lose power. You lose performance. Arugula helps undo that, one bite at a time. I had a patient, late 60s, retired Navy man, said he hadn't had a solid morning in over a year. He wasn't just frustrated, he was defeated, disconnected from his wife, disconnected from himself. We didn't start with pills. We started with lunch: one handful of arugula, olive oil, lemon juice, some chopped walnuts if he wanted. Nothing fancy, no strict diets, just the right fuel. 2 weeks later, he sent me an email, subject line, "Doc, you're not gonna believe this." But I did believe it, because I've seen it before. Arugula works fast, works clean, and works without side effects. Better blood flow, better pressure, better function. Naturally, it's the opposite of what most men are told. Forget the blue pills, forget the shame. Your body isn't broken. It's just been missing the right inputs. Arugula is one of those, and it's easy. Toss it in a salad, blend it into a smoothie, layer it on top of eggs or steak. However you take it, just take it, because every leaf tells your blood vessels to open back up, to carry life again, to bring you back to yourself. The difference between stiffness and softness is often just circulation, and circulation starts with what's on your plate. Pumpkin seeds, the mineral powerhouse. Sometimes the strongest things come in the smallest packages, and that's exactly what pumpkin seeds are. They're not flashy, they're not trendy, but they're one of the most powerful tools for older men dealing with low energy, weak erections, and fading performance, because inside each little seed is a cocktail of minerals your body is probably starving for, especially after 60. Magnesium, zinc, selenium, 3 nutrients that fuel your circulation, support your testosterone, and calm your nervous system. Let's start with magnesium. It helps your blood vessels relax. If your vessels stay tight, nothing flows. Not to your muscles, not to your brain, not to your bedroom. Also helps reduce cortisol. That's the stress hormone. And when cortisol is high, testosterone drops. Libido crashes, your whole system feels off. Zinc, as we covered earlier, is essential for making testosterone. Without it, your body struggles to produce the hormones that drive desire, energy, and male confidence. Then there's selenium. This one's rarely talked about, but it plays a key role in protecting your prostate, and keeping your hormones balanced together. These three minerals form the foundation for strength, not just in your body, but in your presence. I had a patient, 72 years old, used to work construction, tough guy. But lately he said, "Doc, I just don't feel like myself anymore." His lab showed low magnesium, low zinc, low energy. No surprise, I told him, start small, a quarter cup of raw pumpkin seeds a day. Toss them in oatmeal, sprinkle them on salad. Eat them plain. 4 weeks later, he came back grinning, "Doc, I think I'm waking up again, and not just in the morning." That's what happens when you give your body back the tools it's been missing, and unlike pills or powders, pumpkin seeds are food. Real, affordable, easy. They go to work fast, they don't need a prescription, and they don't come with side effects. If you've been feeling tired, flat, disconnected, try this simple habit, because sometimes the smallest change leads to the biggest shift. Vitamin D3. The erection hormone. Now, there's one thing we haven't talked about yet, and without it, even the best foods can't do their job. It's not on your plate. It doesn't come in a bottle at the grocery store, and most men are dangerously low without knowing it. Time talking about vitamin D3, what I call the erection hormone, because D3 helps regulate blood pressure, control inflammation, support testosterone, and boost nitric oxide. That same compound that opens your blood vessels. Without enough vitamin D, blood flow suffers, hormones fall, energy fades, and your body starts operating in survival mode. The problem is, most older men simply don't make enough of it. We spend more time indoors. We cover up when we go out. Our skin doesn't convert sunlight the way it used to, and slowly, quietly, our systems begin to weaken. I had a patient, 65, widowed, trying to get his spark back. He was eating clean, walking every day, even taking supplements, but nothing seemed to work. I checked his vitamin D levels. They were alarmingly low. We added 5,000 IU of vitamin D3 per day, and within 3 weeks, something changed. He said, "Doc, I feel clearer. Like my brain switched back on, and yes, things are waking up at night too." That's the power of this one. Simple hormone, and most men don't even think to check it now. I always recommend getting 15 to 20 minutes of direct sunlight each day. No sunscreen, full skin exposure if possible. But if you live in a colder climate or spend most of your time indoors, a good D3 supplement is worth every penny. Make sure it's paired with vitamin K2 to help guide calcium away from your arteries and into your bones, where it belongs together. They protect your circulation, fuel your testosterone, and help bring life back to your body and your performance. D3 isn't a miracle cure, but it's often the missing piece, the spark your system needs to start rebuilding. So, if you've been doing everything right, eating better, moving more, but still feeling off, check your D levels. You might be one small shift away from feeling like yourself again, putting it all together. Your meal plan. Now that you've seen what these foods can do, let's bring it all together. Simple, powerful, and easy to follow. Because I'm not interested in trendy diets or complicated rules. I care about what works and what older men can actually stick with. So here's what I give every man who walks into my clinic asking for help. Start your day strong. Fuel your fire before noon, because the first meal sets the tone for everything. Plate 1, 6 to 8 ounces of grass-fed beef, cooked gently, not overdone, so you keep the zinc, the iron, the strength. Top it with a thin slice of raw cheese, adds flavor, and gives you vitamin K2 to protect your blood vessels. On the side, a handful of arugula, drizzle with olive oil, squeeze fresh lemon juice. Add a sprinkle of garlic or chopped walnuts if you like. This is your blood flow booster, your natural nitrate hit. No pills, just plants. Next, grab a quarter cup of raw pumpkin seeds. Eat them on their own or toss them into a small bowl of plain Greek yogurt. Now you've got magnesium, zinc, selenium, protein, and gut support in one shot. Want to take it even further? Get outside for 15 minutes of sunlight, or take 5,000 IU of vitamin D3 with K2. That's your hormone insurance. The light switch that keeps everything else working. This entire meal, from the beef to the greens, from the seeds to the sun, takes 10 minutes to prepare and just a few weeks to feel the difference. Most men tell me they feel something shift by week 2. More clarity, more energy, and yes, stronger, more reliable performance. You don't need perfection. You need consistency. 2 or 3 mornings a week like this can completely change your momentum, not because the food is magical, but because your body is built to respond when you finally give it what it's been missing. You not falling apart. You're undernourished, and now you know how to fix it. So if you're ready, start tomorrow morning with one plate, one choice that says, I still want to feel like a man. Final reflection, your second prime. You're not too old. You're not too far gone. You're just one decision away from feeling strong again. I've seen men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s, reclaim the fire they thought was gone, not by chasing youth, but by honoring the body they have now and feeding it like it matters. This isn't about vanity. It's about dignity, vitality, connection. Every egg, every seed, every bite of beef is a signal to your body that you're still in the games. So don't wait for a perfect moment. Start with your next meal and let your body remember what it feels like to be fully alive again, because you're not done. You're just getting started.